Hello, good morning, traders. Good morning. Are you there?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, all right, good. Thank you. I need to hear your voice so that I can know we're on the same page. Good morning. I'm
Baba,
sure
good
we had a
morning.
great weekend.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, morning. All right, so let's get started. Others will join us along the way. Please kindly mute your device so that we don't have noise interference at the background. Good morning. All right, so I'm muting everyone. There's a slight background sound, and that's from say it's the class is always available for you to watch, on YouTube afterwards. So if you came in, if you join us late, or for one reason or the other, you cannot, fully be part of the class, you can always watch at your own convenience. Once again, Mr. Jacob, kindly mute your device. The background noise there is causing distraction. All right. So this week we have a lot of fundamental, quite a lot of it. It's also an opportunity for us to make some money in them, because when you have fundamentals actually drive the market. So it's always to have a fundamental is actually as the non-farm pro for the United States, and that is going to come up on it. So okay, we're back. Sorry, I had a little network connectivity issue. It's been resolved, and we're back on. I want to be sure you can all hear me. Can I get, a yes from you?
Hearing you now.
All right, thank you. Thank you. So just had a little break. So we're back now, so let's ride on. So like I said, we have quite a number of fundamental events for this week, and we just run through them one by one, though we look more at the important ones, though quite a number of them are even important. So let's just start. Now, today by 8:30 a.m., we have CPI from Switzerland, CHF. So let's watch out. If we're still online by then, we might look at trading this news event. It is CPI, so the volatility is actually expected on this one by 8 p.m. this morning. So we'll look at the instruments that has this CHF as either the base or the quote currency. Now, the only currency pair that has the CHF as the base currency is actually the CHF JPY, while the others, have the CHF as a quotes, like USD CHF, CAD CHF, GBP CHF, AED CHF, and New Zealand CHF. In those instances, the CHF is actually the quote or the counter currency. So we're going to take a look at them from the technical perspective. But from the fundamental, if the actual comes out greater than the forecast, we'll be looking to buy the CHF. Now take a look here. The forecast is 0.5%. If the actual is greater than 0.5, we'll be looking to buy the CHF. And if the actual is less than 0.5, we'll be looking to sell the CHF. But then we're going to look at the technicals to know, the projected direction we are looking at. And this is where we test our knowledge of fundamental trading. Because I remember last week we had an online session about how to trade fundamentals. And for those of us in Lagos, this is exactly what we did last week, Thursday, also. And I remember directing us to a video on my YouTube channel, because the one we did online last week, Wednesday, I dropped it on my channel, and people have been asking and I can see many of us have been watching it. So we're going to put all that to test, by 8 o'clock this morning when this news will be released from Switzerland. So that's for today morning, and that's the only event today. So after this event by 8, you're free to trade the technicals as you see opportunities in the market. And tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll talk about the very important ones. We have the JPY, then most importantly, we have the ISM Services PMI. Now, this is the week for the dollar. So there are a lot of events on the dollar all through the week. Like tomorrow, we have the ISM Services PMI. Wednesday, we have the AUD GDP quarterlies coming up by 1:30 a.m. very early on Wednesday morning. But then on that same Wednesday, we have construction PMI from the United Kingdom, followed by the ADP non-farm employment change. Then we have some activities from Canada, that's Wednesday. We have Bank of Canada statement, overnight rate, IV PMI, all coming up. So Canada too, from CAD, we expect some volatility in the market in the course of this week. And on Thursday, the very important, we have more fundamental events we have more speeches on Thursday, like a monetary policy statement from the Euro. Then we have ECB press conference, Fed Chair Powell from the United States, FOMC member. But then the very tradable event on Thursday is going to be the unemployment claims. So please watch out for this by 2:30 p.m. You can mark it in your calendar. Unemployment claims from the United States. It's going to be a tradable event on Thursday. And finally, on Friday, we're going to have the biggest one, which is the NFP, the average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. And simultaneously, we're going to be having the event from Canada, also employment change and unemployment rate. So that's just the rundown of the critical for in the course of this week. Now, I'm going to flip over to to my MT4, and we're going to take a look at possible trades we can take. The technical setup, for the week, because I have quite a lot of setup, especially on the dollar, and how we can prepare ahead for this week. All right, so let's switch over. Now, okay, a minute before I switch over, I want to show us an update. I just remembered I should be doing this every week now. Now, this is the update from the analysis we had last week, the weekly outlook, which I always show us on Mondays. Now, from Monday to Friday last week, there were analysis on 10 instruments from the dollar index down to the DJ30. And this is the outcome on all of them. You can see the dollar index actually came out as nil. That is, there was no, it actually moved up and down. The bullish movement was profitable. The bearish canceled out the profit. And that's why I put nil there for the dollar index. The USD CHF was able to move about 65 pips, and gold did 30, Euro JPY 62. GBP CHF was not triggered. AD USD gave 35 pips, Euro USD 31 pips, GBP USD 66 pips, CAD JPY 80 pips, and DJ30, 250. Also taking note the direction in which this instrument went, just in line, and they all went in line with the forecast. You can see there was no single loss. That does not mean there are some weeks we actually have losses, at least on some instruments, while overall we're still profitable. But in all, we're able to generate 619 pips, from the last week analysis, which I gave on Monday for the whole of the week. So when we give this analysis, please always make sure you follow them. The actual reason behind this is just to give us an idea of the trend. I always emphasize on that. We say in forex trading that the trend is a friend. So once you know the direction that an instrument is going, then you'll be able to plan your time, plan your trade to take a trade in that same direction. You don't need to catch all the pips. We're not saying you have to trade all or catch all the pips, just like I've given. But even if it's 3, 4, 5 trades you took and you're able to make between 100, 150 or 200 pips, it's really something. Even with our current conversion in Nigeria now, 200 pips is well over 300,000 naira thereabouts, if you trade on 0.1 lot. And even if you trade on 0.01 lot, that's about over 30 to 40,000 naira, which is not bad, for a single week. So that's just the update on the analysis for last week. So I'll switch now to MT4 and we'll look at what we have from the technical perspective, for this week. All right, so this is my MT4, and we're going to get started again with the dollar index. Now, I remember saying clearly last week that I was bullish on the dollar. But then this week, I will tell you categorically that I'm really bearish on the dollar for this week. And I'm going to show you why my outlook on the dollar this week is a bearish one. So I'll start it with the dollar index. Now, the dollar index, we're going to do a top-down analysis from the weekly time frame down to 4 hour. And you can still possibly scale down to a lower time frame if it really suits your trading style for you to see what I'm talking about. So this is the dollar index on the weekly time frame. On the weekly time frame, we actually have price trending downwards. We have a downtrend. If you look at it, if I zoom out, you see that we have a clear rejection candle here. That's about 2 weeks ago. And we can see this is where price, okay, that's 3 weeks ago. Price has volatility kind of dropped. That is on the weekly time frame after that rejection candle. Now, when you have a rejection candle on a trend line like this, technically we expect a bearish movement afterwards. So from the weekly time frame, we have a bearish outlook on the dollar index. And if I zoom down to the daily time frame, I can clearly see that we have the formation. Don't forget that this is the point where the candle touched that trend line from the weekly time frame. So from the weekly point of view, we are bearish bias. From the daily, I can see the formation of a head and shoulder pattern, which will lead to a bearish breakout. And if I zoom down again to 4 hour time frame, I can see the clear formation of a double top pattern, which should also lead to a bearish breakout. So doing my top-down analysis from the weekly time frame to the daily time frame to the 4 hour time frame, I can see a consistency, a confluence where price is just showing a downtrend. So with that, I am bearish biased on the dollar index for this week. I can still put, a resistance zone up there, which projects down to this other zone here. So everything is just screaming bearish on the dollar index for this week. And I can still go a step further and draw a trend line across. All right. Now, with this now, I can clearly see that price is trading around the neckline of the double top pattern. Price is just around the neckline. So if price breaks that neckline downwards, then we'll see that it will lead to the beginning of the bearish breakout of the dollar index. I believe that should happen in the course of this week, if not today, in the course of this week, because this is a 4 hour setup, which is more or less, a swing trade. So I'm bearish on the dollar index, for this week. This week, trading we're looking at is from today, 4th to the 8th of March, 2024. And if you're a day trader, you can still trade this. Wait for a clear breakout, below the neckline there, and wait for price to retest, the neckline. Then you can trade it downwards. Now, I'm saying that because I know some of us are day traders and our accounts cannot accommodate, swing trading. So if you're a day trader, if there is no cause for alarm, just wait for a breakout and a retest. Then you can trade in the direction of the trend. So we're bearish on the dollar index for this week. And followed by that is the USD/JPY. Now, the USD/JPY on the daily time frame, I can see that price hit a resistance level there, and we had a very sharp decline afterwards. And the candle for Friday ended up as a rejection candle, at that resistance level. Now, all this, technically is pointing to one thing, the possibility of a bearish breakout on USD/JPY. Now, if we take it a little closer look at this, I can also see that this is forming a kind of a double top pattern, which can still lead to a bearish breakout. So if I decide to go down to the 4-hour time frame, I can see on the 4-hour time frame that price is actually in a range. USDJPY is in a range on the 4-hour time frame. That is, price has been moving within the support and resistance. So if price breaks out below, just like we saw on the daily, then that would lead to the confirmation of the bearish breakout on USDJPY. So technically, I'm bearish biased on the USDJPY. Now this is equally a 4-hour setup, but then if you want to trade it on 1 hour, just wait for a breakout, a retest, and then you can trade, take a bearish trade on USDJPY. And the next one after that is the USDCHF. Now, the USDCHF has a similar structure with what we have on the dollar index. Here you can see that price is trending downwards. And the candle that closed last week was a rejection candle, touching that same downtrend line. So technically, we're looking for a bearish breakout on USDCHF this week. So if you zoom down to the daily time frame, you will see that the candle that closed last Friday is a rejection candle, on that on that trend line. So that's a very strong confirmation that we are expecting a bearish breakout on this. In fact, I would say that this one is possibly from today. Possibly from today, we should be getting ready for a bearish breakout on USDCHF. Sorry, on GBP. Pardon me, USDCHF. Why am I saying GBPCHF? All right. So we're looking for a bearish breakout. And if we zoom down, look at this thing on a closer note again, we discover that we have a resistance. So we have this point as a very strong confluence. One, the rejection candle, the shadow is touching the trend line from the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, the rejection candle shadow is touching the resistance level again. So this is definitely going to be a bearish breakout on USDC HF. I don't know why I'm saying GBPC HF this morning. So I can go a step further by looking at this on the 1-hour time frame. And on 1-hour time frame, it's not clear, but then we may end up with something like a head, and maybe price might retrace up a little to form the second show that then we have a breakout, from there. So, and peradventure that doesn't happen exactly like that. Another thing that you can do is whenever price, we have a clear breakout below the most recent low, some pips below the current price, then we can trigger a sell on USDCHF. If you've attended my class, we've talked a lot about rejection candles, that when you find them around the resistance level, technically speaking, it's a bearish breakout. So I'm very, very confident in this one. Yeah, it's possible price may, first of all, retrace. That's possible. It may retrace, or it may not retrace at all. But clearly, we are getting ready for a bearish breakout on USDCHF. And finally, if you want to take it again on another note, on the swing side, we can still call this a kind of a double top pattern, which should still lead to a bearish breakout, right from the daily to the 4-hour. So generally, we are bearish biased on USDCHF. So the dollar index is bearish, USDJPY is bearish, USDCHF for the week is bearish. Though for the USDCHF, we can see the movement likely from today, And for USD CAD, that's another instrument I'm looking at. Now, USD CAD on the daily time frame, we can have some setup on this. On the daily time frame, we have price hits a resistance zone, and not just a resistance zone, a support turned resistance. So we have a key level there. We have a key level there. We have a support that turned resistance, and price is back in that old resistance. So technically, we expect a bearish, movement on USD CAD. So you can see still everything is still falling in line with the analysis we saw on the dollar index. So on the 4-hour, we actually saw price, I can call it a double top. And at the same time, it looks also like a triple top pattern. Basically, either double top or triple top. Basically, what I'm looking out for is a bearish, breakout after that setup. So we're bearish on USD CAD. And to make it easier to trade, I can equally draw a trend line right here and wait for price to break out below that trend line to trigger a sell on USD CAD. And that's for swing. If you're doing 1 hour, like I always say, wait for the trend line to be broken, a retest, then you can sell on the 1 hour. So we're bearish on the USD CAD. Now we looked at all the instruments where the dollar is the base currency. Next, we want to look at the ones where the dollar is a put or the counter currency. And in that case, we'll start with the Euro USD. Now, for those who requested for the video of pending order, I've done the video. This setup is actually part of what I use in making the video. So I'm still trying to do a final editing on it, but definitely it's going to be on my YouTube channel before 10 a.m. this morning. You should have it there. Even the analysis on Bitcoin for the people that asked, it's already done, so it's going to be on the channel too before 10 a.m. this morning. That one, the BTC is already edited, completely edited, just waiting for upload. But for the one for the pending order, I've recorded, but I need to just do a final editing. But like I said, before 10 a.m. this morning, it will be available on my YouTube channel. All right. So for Euro USD, we're having price moving an uptrend on the weekly time frame. And we expect, price got to that same trend line again. So we expect a bullish continuation in the course of the week. All right, somebody said my volume is faint. Is that correct? Let me get a feedback. Please, I need our feedback. Is my volume low?
No, it isn't. I can hear you very clearly.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm doing fine.
Okay, somebody said volume is okay. So maybe that person should check at ISO end. That's Eneda should check. I think that should be Frida, right? I can't remember fully all the names now. So that person should check from. Thank you, Mr. Ifeanyi. That person should check at ISO end. So for Euro USD, we're expecting a bullish, continuation in the course of this week. Thank you, Madam Onaji. All right, so we can flip down to the daily time frame, and on the daily time frame, we can see the formation of an inverse head and shoulder pattern, which should push price up. Now, all these technicals I'm giving you now, if the fundamentals come out in line with that technical, it will give it a boost. Like if a news is released from the United States now, and the actual comes out less than forecast, for it, Euro USD will go strongly bullish because the technicals is really ready. And that's why I said it's a good thing we've done the training on fundamental analysis, how to trade fundamentals. So we put all that knowledge into place when we want to take a trade on this. So what we're saying in essence is that since we are bearish on the dollar, any news that comes out this week where the actual is less than the forecast, all you need to do is to place a sell on the dollar. Place a sell on USD JPY, USD CHF, or USD CAD. Or if it is Euro USD want to trade, that means you need to buy Euro USD. Like I'm showing you now that Euro USD is having an inverse head and shoulder pattern on the daily time frame, which is means that we're looking for a bullish breakout. So sometimes before the news comes up, if the coast is clear for a technical trade, yes, and the market is volatile enough for you to take the trade, why not? We can take it also from a technical angle. And if it's a fundamental that comes first, whichever one that you see happen first. So for Euro USD, we can just put a trend line there on 4 hour and take a buy trade when price breaks above this current level. RSI is already above 50. So, you know, the bullish trend is really getting stronger on this instrument. And for the dollar, finally, we have AUD USD, and the structure is not different from what we have on the Euro USD. On the daily time frame, we can see we have an uptrend, and we have also an inverse head and shoulder pattern. And this is the second shoulder, and we expect price to make a bullish breakout, you know, in the course of the week. All right. So just for, like I said, in the case of the Euro USD, the news comes out not to favor the dollar, then we expect a breakout on AUD USD. But also there's a news on AUD USD, like we said earlier. I think retail sales also in one of the days. If it comes out to favor the AUD, then AUD USD is going to buy also. So we're bullish on the AUD USD in the course of this week. Next, I'll look at the GBP CHF. Okay, now I see why I was, you know, having a conflict between USD CHF and GBP CHF. Now, for the GBP CHF now, we are equally. Please repeat Euro USD. The network is bad. We are bullish on Euro USD for the week. We are bullish. That's just a summary of everything I said on Euro USD. Now, for the GBP CHF, you can see that price hit a resistance level, or rather close on the resistance level last week Friday. Now, the last week Friday candle, let me close all this. The last week Friday candle is this one, which is a rejection candle or a pin bar. A pin bar on a resistance level means we are expecting a bearish, you know, movement. So we're bearish on GBP CHF. Now, this should happen in the course of today. So I'll zoom down to 1 hour time frame, and on my 1 hour, I can clearly see the formation of a head and shoulder and a bearish breakout. So I'll give you an entry for this one. I will be looking to make entry if price is able to break below this most recent low at 1.11626, and I will target profits at the most recent low there. That should be some 42 pips away. All right, so I'll type it now and drop in the chat box. So GBP CHF, sell, stop order, sell stop. Sell stop at 1.11626. Take profit at 1.11204, and stop loss. We're looking at 42 pip take profit. So we look at about 21 pip as a stop loss. So we have a ratio 1 to 2. So that's just around the current market price. All right. So stop loss at 1.11842. So I'll drop it down in the chat box. You can take this and set it as a pending order on your account, and we'll wait patiently for price to go in that direction. So we have a trade call on GBP CHF. The next instrument I want to show us is the New Zealand JPY. Okay, so for the New Zealand JPY, now the candle that closed last week, now we have a a bullish candle, and the next to it is a bearish candle of almost, the same size like we see here. Generally, it will signal a reversal in the market. That's, from candlestick patterns. And aside that, we equally have, a trend line up here and a second one signifying the formation of a rising wedge on New Zealand JPY on the weekly time frame. Is all though you say the stop loss seem too close. It's not too close. It's a pending order, so it's going to work. It's 22 pips away from the entry. So yeah, it's close to the current price, but then it's still is a pending order. It will still work if you put it. So we have a rising wedge on the weekly time frame, and on the daily time frame, even on the 4-hour, but then it's bigger on the daily time frame. I perceive this will end up as a head and shoulder and a final breakout, in the coming weeks. But then in the short term, we can still take a trade on this, because if I zoom down to 4-hour time frame, this is what I have. I still have, so I'm looking at this possibly as being ready for a drop, as the second shoulder, is expected to drop from that point. So I can flip down to my 1-hour time frame. And on the 1 hour, we can see price is trying to go up. Then I believe it will not go beyond this resistance, and we may end up with a double top, which can lead to a bearish breakout. So on the short term, I'm bearish on New Zealand JPY. We can look for trading opportunity on this instrument in the course of today. I'll look at this more in the course of today. You might end up with a double top there, which will break out downwards. So for intraday traders, that's a setup for you, which you can trade. And if eventually it works out well on 1 hour, are we able to ride the trend down to this level? Then for swing traders, you can now trade that as the neckline, for a sell, for a bigger sell on New Zealand JPY. But first, let's look at this. Let's look at it from the intraday perspective. And you can see that that line I drew is just exactly touching the other shoulder. So that tells you that you have that as a resistance, as a major resistance, a double top, and a breakout on 1 hour for New Zealand JPY. Okay, I think I have so many other instruments which maybe time will not permit me to touch. I think I'll just touch a few, then we end there, because I don't want to also overload us with too much instruments. I'll also look at Euro CHF. Now you can see that the CHF pairs, they are having a pattern, and that tells us what to expect this morning from the CHF news, which will come up by 8 o'clock. We saw that USD CHF is bearish, GBP CHF is bearish, and next we have Euro CHF. Now Euro CHF is equally looking a lot bearish, because if you look at it from the let me see, from the daily or the weekly time frame, which one comes first? Okay, let's look at it from the daily time frame. We can clearly see that price, we have a trend line right there from daily. We have about 3 points price touching. This is the second, and this is the third, and it was a rejection candle last Friday, just like we have it on USD CHF, GBP CHF. We have that same rejection candle on Euro CHF. So this is already telling us that the news on CPI this morning, it might favor the CHF. So if you favor CHF, they will expect USD CHF to sell, GBP CHF to sell, and also Euro CHF to sell. And that's just in 20 minutes time, that if the actual now comes out, greater than the forecast. So for Euro CHF, it should be a head and shoulder, though it's not looking too clear. I will admit that, but then I still believe price will break out in a bearish direction. So what I'll just say is that the outcome we're looking at for the news, for the CHF news by 8 o'clock, is actually greater than forecast. If the actual is greater than forecast, you can sell either USD CHF, GBP CHF, or Euro CHF. Okay, I'll take one more, then I'll stop. Any other analysis, I'll refer you to my weekly outlook. I'm still compiling the weekly outlook, so you can also check on further analysis after this last one, I will take. Okay. For those, because of time, I will not go into BTC. Just go to my YouTube channel. You'll watch the BTC analysis on my YouTube channel, because I'm really running against time. I will still have a lot of things to touch. I think I'm looking at Euro AUD. I think that should be the last one I'll look at for this session. So I believe I've been able to drop quite enough setup for those who are intraday and even the swing traders. I'm trying to search for my Euro AUD. And don't forget, you still have more signals coming up on our PU Profit Scanner. That's our number one signal, software in PU Prime. Okay, let me look. I can't find my Euro AUD. Let me look at GBP.
So look at Euro USD.
I've analyzed Euro USD, sir. You can watch it again on my YouTube channel after the class. All right, I have a setup on GBP card, so we can look at that also in the course of today. Now, this is a GBP card on the weekly time frame. We see that we can see that we have price hitting the resistance level 3 times. That's like a triple top on the weekly time frame. So we can zoom down to the daily and down to the 4-hour. So we have a resistance, on both the weekly and the daily time frame. And we can scale down to the 4-hour. Now on the 4-hour, I am seeing the formation of a head and shoulder pattern, which will lead to a bearish breakout. Now, don't forget we have some fundamental events from Canada this week. So that could go a long way in influencing, the direction of this instrument. If the news from Canada, comes out to favor the card, then GBP card will drop massively. But before the news is released, there's also the possibility that this instrument may start declining technically. This is still it on the 1-hour time frame. Now, don't worry, all these things, I'm going to still put it, I'm compiling it in the weekly outlook, which is a booklet I drop in PDF format. You will get it in your WhatsApp group. So that will also guide you on this instrument. In fact, that one is even more comprehensive because you have both the entry points for all of them, the entry and the take profit level. All of them are included in the PDF format. So I'm expecting a breakout, a bearish breakout. This is still my head and shoulder and a bearish breakout, in the course of this week. So that's it for, from my end for this morning. I'll take questions. People are already dropping. We have to finish by 8 o'clock. I'll take questions now. NAS 100, Mr. Emmanuel Uko. NAS 100, I still strongly believe is more fundamental driven at this time. Last week, excuse me.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, please. Let me get through with the analysis I'm doing on NAS 100. I remember telling us last week that, I expect a breakout above that resistance on the daily time frame. And that's what happened. I can clearly see we have a trend line somewhere here on the 15 minutes, and we have a breakout. So the sentiment of this instrument for now is strongly bullish. So whoever asked this, I think that should be Mr. Emmanuel, please just check out for, a bullish continuation on NAS 100. However, don't forget there is a resistance here. It may take a little, retracement when price hits that resistance. So you can only look for a slight bearish trade when price hits the trend line right here on the daily. Otherwise, we expect some bullish movement before a minor retracement could happen. So I'm bullish on the short term for NAS 100. Then later on, we may have a bearish reversal. And somebody is asking me to check US oil. Now, I will use UK oil to explain what is happening on US oil, because like I always tell us, all these instruments, I check all of them when I'm doing analysis. I only pick the ones that have more, a clearer outlook. So for the US oil, it's not so clear. The only thing I can see here, we actually have a key level, but then price seemed to have broken out, or okay, just at the tip of the key level. Okay, we can still make use of it because we have a tip somewhere around here, and price, it actually tried to break out, but then it retraced back into the key zone. So what we could look out for today and possibly this week, we can zoom down to 1 hour time frame and even down to 15 minutes. And we can see from 15 minutes that it's actually forming a head and shoulder pattern. It's forming a head, a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and we should have a bearish, movement or a breakout from there. So, and this level here will be the neckline. In fact, I would say that the neckline is already broken. So what I would advise you do is wait for price to break out below this minor support level, because price already broke the neckline, from this point. So we're waiting for price to break this minor support downwards for you to take a sell on US oil. So I'm bearish on the US oil. And sorry, I'm just trying to check. Okay, Mr. Barra, Euro USD, sir, please, I'm on a sell trade already. On a sell trade, Euro USD, it's possible we might have a retracement now, but on the long term, Euro USD is bullish. So I will advise you to have a stop loss in place, just, if the bullish movement starts earlier than expected. But then it's possible we have a little sell, which I won't call a sell, just a little retracement before price goes in that direction. Somebody with the name backup, markets are very volatile around what time? Like early this morning, like this, like when we have the market session overlap between 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and between 1 p.m. to 5 p.m., there's a lot of volatility in the market. Also, when we have news being released, markets can be volatile. For Chooks, what's your YouTube ID? My YouTube ID is Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. It's purely an educational site. You can get, more information about my trading style, and even the analysis we have here, it's been backed up there. So you can always watch it, after the class. Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. I'm typing it now. So you can just type it directly into your YouTube like this, and you'll see, the channel. I kindly subscribe and also click on the notification bell so that you can you can view more videos when I drop them. Madam Manaji, 3 CHF codes to sell after the news. Please don't sell all of them. Just take 1 or 2. And that is USD CHF, USD CHF, GBP CHF, and Euro CHF. That is if actual is greater than forecast. For those who missed the training on how to trade fundamental events, the video is backed up on my YouTube channel. It's titled Forex Fundamental Event Strategy. Quite a number of you have watched it. Please watch it again. It will really give you an understanding of how news trading works. Gidex Multimedia, drop your channel. I've already done that. Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. You can private chat me later if you are not still getting it. Okay, I think I've answered. How do I get the PDF format where it has entry? I'll drop it in your WhatsApp group latest by 10 o'clock or maybe latest by 11 o'clock this morning. Get that. That's for Mr. Chicks.
Sir, please, what about JPY? Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma'am. Which one, ma'am?
AUD JPY.
AUD JPY, I did not analyze that, but let's check.
Yes, sir.
Now, for the JPY, if you observe, I'm a bit cautious around them this week because I'm not seeing the kind of clarity that we had last week. We had some amazing clarity last week, and I told you that some of them are going to sell and they really, sold. But this week, it's not too sharp, except for what I'm looking at the moment. We have price hits. This is a resistance level, and this is actually a reversal candlestick. Two of them, a bullish and bearish, almost same size. So like I said, that is actually an indication of a possible bearish movement. And okay, I think I'm seeing something else, which we may look at closely later. I'm seeing we may end up having a kind of a head and shoulder here also, which could lead to a bearish breakout. That's on the weekly time frame, but that's more on the long term. What we're concerned about now is the resistance and this reversal candlestick. So we can go down to the daily and the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, what I will be looking at, since I'm looking at a bearish movement, I would rather draw my trend line, right here, and wait for price to break out below that trend line to enter a sell. I'm not seeing any clear pattern, whether head and shoulder is not clear. But if price can break out below this trend line, then I can enter a sell on AUD JPY. But at the same time, there's going to be a news on AUD, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday morning I think it's Wednesday morning by 1:30 a.m. So for that news, since we're having a bearish outlook, if the news comes out not to favor the AUD, just like I said that the AUD USD, I think the AUD USD, I'm looking at a bullish breakout on that one. If the news comes out to favor the AUD, price may go up. And if the news does not favor the AUD, price, may come down. So that news can also determine the direction. But for now, technically, I'll be looking for more of a bearish, breakout from a technical angle. But if the fundamental is released, if it's bullish, then price may go back either to hit this trend line or to hit the resistance, on the daily or weekly time frame for a bearish breakout later. So for now, let's just look technically for a bearish movement if it happens on AUD JPY.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I think I've attended to virtually all the questions. All right, so I think I've attended to all. So please trade safe. And you can, like I said, you can watch out on my YouTube channel. Yes, sir.
Please, the GBP CHF you gave sell stop. Why will you not actually advise us to take an entry now, since you gave a sell stop? Though I was actually engaged, so I didn't get the analysis you made before the sell stop. So if I take the trade now, what's your speculation about that?
Because it's not a time to sell. What I'm looking out for is a head and shoulder pattern. This is GBP CHF for 1 hour. I'm expecting I'm trading a pattern. So you wait for the pattern to form. You don't just jump into a trade. If you jump into a trade, you jump out to. And what if something happens, our price keeps going in the bullish direction? So you wait for the pattern to clearly form. But you see, there's something about trading patterns you can see ahead and now position yourself, plan, not necessarily enter, but plan. Because when you're trading a head and shoulder pattern, your entry is around the neckline. So the sell stop I gave you is some pips below the neckline. That's why I can comfortably give you that as an entry, because I know that if it eventually starts to sell, price will get to that place and break out downwards. So for now, we just wait and see. Don't forget there's a news by 8 o'clock, just 5 minutes, about 4 minutes from now. We can still hang on and see how the market reacts to that news. For that news, like I said, if the actual comes out greater than forecast, then GBP CHF, USD CHF, and Euro CHF will sell. But if the news comes out actually less than forecast, it will buy. Now we don't know which one will come out. So what if it turns out to be actual less than forecast, which is a buy, and you have entered the sell already? Then that becomes a losing trade. So there is a best time to enter. That is when your analysis aligns properly. So there's a best entry. So you must always wait for the best time to enter. Don't be in a haste. Yeah, you may be busy. If you miss this trade, there will be another one. And that's why we are analyzing a lot of instruments so that peradventure, we understand that some of us have tight daily schedules. You can't trade all. I can guarantee you that. But at least if you miss this one, you may not miss another one. So that's just the idea with all the long analysis we always give, so that you have something to trade at the end of the day. All right, I'll take a last one, and that's gold. Don't forget the news is coming up in 3 minutes time. I purposely didn't talk about gold also, but then my view is this.
Yeah, sorry, Mr.
Actually,
To me, the news is coming at 8:30, not 8.
Really?
Yes, it's
I think
8:30.
8:30. You can check it.
Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I thought it's 8. Okay, fine. Okay, still a good one. Now, for gold, the reason why I purposely didn't mention gold is this. Gold closed on a resistance level last week, Friday. Now we are bearish on the dollar. Technically, we should be bullish on gold, but gold is at a resistance level, and technically at a resistance, we expect a sell. Now, it's possible to have a retracement, but then I still think if there's a retracement, there should be a breakout, or rather price could retrace a little breakout, retest the old resistance now as a support before going further. So that's just my view on gold, but that can be a bit complex for some of us that are new, and that's why my emphasis has been on the dollar index and the dollar. For gold, the possibility around gold is that price will break this resistance, retest it, and now continue in the bullish direction. So that's my outlook on gold. So I hope that answered the people, because there are about 3 people asking about gold. So that's, I believe, answered your question on gold. Okay, so we're going to end the class right here. Please take note, for those who joined us late, you can watch it again, like I said, on my YouTube channel, Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. Kindly subscribe to that channel and click the notification bell so that whenever I drop a new video, you can always watch it and learn. I'm dropping a lot of educative content. Because of time now, I will not go into the analysis on Bitcoin. For those who are BTC traders, please go there. I'm dropping the video in less than the next 30 minutes. You will have the video on my outlook for BTC for this week and for the month. It's right there. The video is ready, fully edited, just remaining and upload. You understand? So the name of the channel again is Learn Forex with Rotimi Olawale. And for those who asked about the pending order video, the video has been made, just requires some few editing. Latest between 9 and 10 this morning. You should also have it on the channel. All right, take care and have a great and a pleasant week. And please don't forget the PU Profit Scanner. The PU Profit Scanner. Now, between now and the 15th of the month of March, if you are already a funded client, you can join the Signal group where you get free signals on the PU Profit Scanner. On the 15th, you might need to fund to remain a member of that group. You just need if you're already a funded client, you just need to top up with $100 and remain a member of that group. If you're a new client altogether, you will need $200 to be a part of that group. But for now, for funded clients, it's free till the 15th of this month. And if you're there, you want to have the scanner directly on your laptop. If you're a funded client, just top up with $100 now and reach out to me. I will get the software installed for you. And if you're a new client altogether, you're not funded, you just need to fund with $200, and I will personally install the software on your laptop. Just once you're funded, reach out to me through the WhatsApp number where I drop the link to this Zoom class. Then we'll assist you in installing the software. All right, Mr. David, that's not within my powers. That's not really within my powers. It's a management thing. But then just top up, we see what we can do. All right. So have a great day and a wonderful week ahead. Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.
You
Bye-bye.
too, sir.
Thank you so much,
Have a
Mr.
very beautiful
Bye,
week
sir.
ahead.
You too. You too.